You think they're looking at it?
All right.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome to our May 11th meeting. We have our first thing up is special order of business with Greg Garatos.
Well, thank you very much and good evening. I think after 5 it's evening, right? Of
course. Close enough.
Okay. So you should have in front of you 3 reports. The water, the stormwater, and the wastewater. Okay? And on the agenda is wastewater and stormwater, but I wanted to go over, I know councils in the past have always said, well, when will the next increase? Well, when will we have to increase electric? Or when will we have to increase water? So you should have the water report in front of you. And there we have said that we do not recommend a rate increase at this time. Okay, because we know what we're trying to achieve in the water, in the wastewater, and in the stormwater. And if you turn to page 3 of that report, you'll see that we've got a pretty good cash balance. The depreciation fund has 354. And Marilyn, we made the recommendation that we do a transfer from the construction fund to the depreciation fund, because I think that one's all done, the construction.
It's all done.
And so that would just help give us a little more money in there. Now, I consider that, your question might be, when is 354,000 or having a little bit more of a transfer down from the operating too much? I can tell you every time I have a water main break, it's sometimes hundreds of thousands. Okay, so it just depends on how expensive and how deep.
I need to clarify a bit because you need to, here, I didn't get these two yet.
Your current fund report.
The current fund report, because there's actually,
I think it's one
wait a
page.
minute,
I
it's
think
not
that's
stapled for some reason.
Where is it?
Anyway, here, not
Half page
stapled, I
one.
gave it to her and she didn't. Let me just tell you that the water utility operating has 536,000. So altogether, there's about 900,000 in the water.
Okay.
And so, but
They're not stapled, I'm sorry.
things break, and again, depending on how deep you have to go, and this report also shows you do have bonds outstanding in the water utility. So you got to, SRF gets your annual report, they look at it. If you don't have sufficient debt coverage, they will write you a letter and say, raise your rates. Okay, so they're watching it like a hawk now because they're kind of your banker. Okay, and so you don't want to get the letter that says you need to raise rates. Okay, because
This is also after the water project on Nancy Street. So all the projects are done.
Okay.
yeah, so that's the water. Any questions on that? Now I want to bring you back up to date on the electric utility. You know that, and Megan and Scott, you probably aren't aware of this, but we put into effect a year ago or longer a 5-year phase-in because of the Wolverine contract. And keep in mind that we helped several communities around here when we were doing that Wolverine adjustment, especially Avila. And you and Avila chose to go ahead and enter into an agreement with Wolverine where we have a fixed rate until 2035, but we need a increase each and every year, and that's already been approved. And so for the next 5 years, each November, is that correct, Marilyn?
Yes. Yes.
Each November, that will go into effect automatically, okay? And that's to pass on basically the cost that we'll be incurring and jumping up in 2030. Now, I've told council in the past, the deal that you entered into was a little different than the deal like Bluffton entered into. Bluffton entered into the deal of they just took their money and was setting it aside, and then they will enter into whatever the cost of power is in 2030. I can tell you right now, I've seen a recent, I cannot disclose because remember, I do all 5 big electric utilities in the state of Indiana for the state of Indiana, okay? But I can tell you there is a major private entity, electric utility, that entered into a price well above $60, and we're down in the 50s, okay? And they signed a contract for over 5 years for that. So the answer is, and the data centers are alive and well and coming out of the ground. If you fly out of Indianapolis International, you'll see a huge 1,000 acres out there that they're going to try and put the world's largest data center on and consume power from one of these private utilities, and that's why they've had to enter into the above 60 per megawatt hour price, along with the cost of either MISO or whatever on top of that. So the answer is, even 1.5 years later, that price was great, okay? And unless something happens in 2035, and the nuclear power boys up in Michigan for AEP tell me you're not going to get, Michelle, I hate to tell you this, you're not going to get your small nuclear reactor in your backyard until at best 2033. That's what the nuclear engineers up at Cook tell me, if even then it would happen. And so it'll be a long time for that coming, which means it'll be a long time for the data centers to get some other power sources at their plants or areas. So that's kind of the world of the electric utility. So we've got those increases, and they were moderate, but they will keep coming in November of each year. And if you have any more questions about that, we can cover it. But the answer is, we're looking really good.
We're trying to gradually get there versus one big increase.
Bingo.
When it happens.
Bingo.
And that's what we're trying to do. So that kind of leads into my next question with water. We're good right now. Is it something that we need to consider with if we can get a comprehensive plan done? Is that something we need to consider for in the future as well? Some kind of increase in that.
So my answer to your awesome question, it's a great question, is that we did raise it in May of 2024. So I feel a little bit better, okay? And it depends on your decisions on wastewater and stormwater, because as you know, we take like Maryland's salary and we kind of divide it between the utilities. Mm-hmm. So if one starts suffering, okay, then people have said, okay, we need to move the allocation of some of the people more heavy to one utility or the other. I say don't fool around with any of that, mm-hmm. because that will just make you play forever catch up. So I feel good that we did this in 24, but it's kind of dependent on how we tackle these others.
Right. Okay.
Okay, because as you know, let's go to the wastewater. As you know, on the wastewater, we've got the project of about $900,000. I'm on page 5, 896. That is coming to your theater really quick. Okay, and then we also know that Commonwealth has put out a very, very large project, and that will come at some future point in time. But we're not going to worry about that at this point. We're going to worry about trying to do this $900,000. we have recommended that it be a loan from the electric utility as opposed to us doing a bond issue now. Because the bond issue, at this point in time, we have no subject, we have that one debt that we're paying partially on. And so the current RDA loan, which is, you see those payments on page 10, we'd rather not do a $900,000 bond issue, okay? That doesn't make sense when you have to pay probably $70,000 in cost of issuance and things like that to do that. So we said, what we recommended was on page 6, that we do a ordinance, you have to do a resolution ordinance that you enter into a loan up to 5 years with the electric utility. But you notice that we amortize it over about 3.5 years. If we could pay it back fairly quickly, we did put 2.5%. Notice my footnote that says town council could choose a different rate. This is a recommended rate. Because keep in mind, the electric utility has to stay whole too, so if you use 0, you're gonna make it suffer. If you use 5%, that's probably too high. That is probably, they're probably getting 4% on their CDs. But, I'm trying to come up with an equalized number. So if we're able to do that, then once you do the resolution to enter into this loan up to 5 years, and we pay it back rather quickly, which we've been able to do sometimes in the past, and then we could make our way and get that project underway, okay? Keep in mind, you have to have the money, so to speak, in the bank before you can sign the contract to enter into the project, okay? And so then after that, we would tackle the comprehensive plan, and we would tackle the way of doing the bigger, whatever you choose to do on the Commonwealth recommendation to you.
If you look at your fund report and you go to electric, the loan would have to be from electric reserve. That's where the loan, it can't be from cash operating. So you go across and there's 1.6 million. We will have to open a CD, but that's no problem, because you can see on hand we have 311,000, but there's 1.3 million invested. And this money invested is from years ago. It's always just stood there from before I came to, before I came on the scene way back when I&M had a big settlement with the town. So you can see that there's ample. And then in the cash operating electric, there's 110.
In the reserve, we had kind of bounced around at one point, kind of putting some of that back too for the whole transition and using that. So if we have it paid back in 3 years, then it would still be there and ready to use in that transition.
You're going to see an increase in it every month.
Okay.
Because you'll see, and the thing is, our CDs are not invested at 5. The most we have is one at 3.7. I'm not sure what this million is. I don't have those numbers committed, but it's not invested at 5.
And keep in mind, your Wolverine power bill does go up each year. It's just transitioning to that fixed level. And I'm seeing with the PJM cost, it goes up every. Actually, PJM sometimes is rising every month right now. And the good news is the PJM is Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and you might say, Megan, why in the heck does that apply to Warren, Indiana? There's a part of Indiana that was carved out of, rather than the MISO, M-I-S-O, MISO, we kind of call it. MISO is everybody down south. That's an RTO, and an RTO, Scott and Megan, is a regional transmission operator. It was put together by the federal government when we had the blackouts, okay? And the blackouts were caused, we had the power, up in Michigan. We just couldn't get it to southern Indiana, okay? And it was more New Jersey couldn't get it up there. So they created these regional transmission operators, and they are regulated by the federal government, but they charge, MISO and PJM, charge the electric utilities, which gets charged to you, which gets charged to the consumer. Okay? It's a
And for
pass-through.
further explanation, because
So I'm trying not to make it complicated.
we buy from Wolverine, who goes out on PJM and purchases power and then sells to us.
Right.
And the PJM comes and carves out Fort Wayne, Allen County, in this area. That's all it's in Indiana, it's in PJM. So when you're seeing the solar, just keep in mind that we are part of PJM.
Yeah.
So,
So that's why I'm an expert in electric utilities in the state of Indiana. So there's a lot going on in that area. So back to the wastewater. So now you'll notice on page 11, we have said, and actually maybe I should take you to 10, to eventually make it where we need to go, we need approximately a 75% increase. What we've said is that, we are recommending that we phase this in over 3 years. You could go more than 25% per year, but, that's, as you can see on page 11, and, almost $1 million project is a lot, for your small wastewater utility. So we haven't raised rates since 15. Remember, council's reviewed raising the rates, so that's why I said you did an excellent question. But if you recall, in the past, sometimes we've been pretty comfortable with those cash balances, and they go really quick, okay?
But this rate increase you're talking about is to upsize the plant out there.
No, not upside the plant, it's for the pipe,
the blowers.
the blower project.
Okay, so you're saying that we need to increase them that much just for the blowers?
Yes,
To be able to pay back the electric.
correct.
The blowers is $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah, then we will, depending on where that project comes in at, okay? Depending on where it comes in at, this 75% could help with that. But probably at that level of project I saw, you'd have to triple rates.
Okay, so you're talking financials. You're not aware of, you don't know things about why we're being told we need a new sewage plant or anything like that?
No, right, I'm the CPA, not the engineer.
So we need to ask Ben those questions.
You need to ask Ben those questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And now we've worked with Ben, we understand where he's going, and by the way, every municipality's heading down the same path. But yes, those questions, you've got to really vet with Ben,
Okay.
more than once, probably.
Yeah, I've got a list of questions. so.
Yeah, perfect.
But-
Okay.
But you're saying for right now, just to get the one that we know with the blowers, that specific issue resolved, this is what needs to happen.
Correct.
Okay.
So I can only imagine what we're talking if we start talking that other project.
That's why I said triple or what, yeah. I mean, first of all, when we saw 20 million, we said, no way. We've done this way too many years for you all, and we've done this way too many everywhere. We're going to have to, how do you eat a well one bite at a time? And, you have to downsize the well.
So that's why we knew with Ben, we were gonna have to work on a comprehensive plan
Exactly.
of what can
Right.
we stair-step, how can we?
And the rest of the projects are at 10 million, but you take out the million, so they're about 9 million is what you're looking.
Okay, I must have read it wrong, 'cause I thought it was 11 million dropped to 10. There was an $11 million one
I'm
on
just
there.
rounding off, that it's gonna
Well,
be around 9 or
yeah.
10 million, but
So-
your previous discussion was, that's where the comprehensive financial plan would come in, is how to gradually work up to that. And what Greg's saying with, if you increase it right now for the blowers, when that's paid for, that money's there, you've already covered that, so that it would be addition to that.
So we would be talking in over 3 years for a person that uses let's just say 1,000 gallons, going from 32 75 to 6396 in 3 years.
Um,
I just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yes,
Okay.
at this point in
And
time,
that's just for the blowers.
yes.
Okay.
But would help at the end of that, you
Yeah.
don't decrease the rate.
Yeah.
Would then hopefully be able to help us with the larger project. But as you know, in the past, what we've done is we said we've got to find some other creative sources. That's when we used TIF to help with the big sewer project many, many years ago. Okay, and that's how we did that one. We would love for lit, local income tax, but now that's going to be a challenge come 2029. So we've done a lot without it and things like that in supplementation in the past, but that train is leaving the station without you possibly.
Somewhere you had written that's when it becomes, and I think I told the council at the last meeting, becomes necessary to protect the edit and the TIF money, and there was a third fund, and not get carried away thinking, okay, we have this money, we'll just use it. That's where you will begin to protect. That's what a comprehensive plan will show, is you protect those funds, so maybe you can knock $1 million off of it or whatever in 3 years.
But the big key for Ben is how do we phase this? What is the logical, we got this phase, no problem, but let's get the next phases, because those numbers are big numbers.
Yes.
And what is a true immediate need? Like
Right here.
right here.
Yeah, the 25. Yeah.
Okay.
So we can, because we've been waiting since 15 and we were fine in the past, but now you've got the new project
Right.
that, has kind of come upon you.
Okay.
So questions, if you look at the past, we had, in 2024, we had $1 million too. But, it's been expensive to pay Ben and to engineer and to get to this point. So, you've been paying some as you go, but, we just can't do it anymore.
Your sewer projects in the last, year and a half have been 800,000.
Yeah.
And that all came out of local funds.
Yeah.
And that was before we had any indication that this was gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
So if that's true, then why such a big increase now for the same dollar amount?
We had money, we had funds on hand.
So that was out of money that we had existing.
That was funds on hand.
Now we've got to pull money out.
Yeah.
That we built up since 15 and we
Yeah.
we didn't raise rates because we had a good balance.
Because you had,
And then
Okay.
it goes fast.
okay.
All the money, it takes a long time to build it up. Doesn't take very long to spend.
And also having a comprehensive plan, some of those were that was planned out, and that's why we have an urgency to also get a comprehensive plan back in place.
Exactly.
So that we know moving forward what this looks like over the next several years versus.
Okay, any other questions on the wastewater? Now, I also want to bring to you that what we're doing in a lot of the neighboring communities too is outside the town surcharges, okay? Anytime I did that up in Woodburn, Wolcockville even did it, they're saying, look, if we're providing service outside the town or the city, then what we should do is it does cost more and they're not contributing to the tax rate that supports the council, supports Maryland and things like that. So what we are doing is you can, by statute, if you go from 0 to 15, anywhere from 0 to 15% surcharge, that you are not underneath the IURC. So for instance, Fort Wayne is 14.5, I believe. So we're recommending a 14% surcharge if you're outside the city. It's easily justified by the sheer fact that people's salaries are split by all the utilities. And then really kind of put something in place if outside would start growing by any stretch of the imagination. It's better to have it in effect now. So if we did the wastewater ordinance, we would want to make the recommendation that the attorney write in the outside the city surcharge or town surcharge, and use 14%, which we think we can justify without much problem with this project and what we're doing here with this. And then you've got it in place for the future, okay? And like the stormwater, we're kind of behind the 8 ball. Lots of people have done stormwater. They outside the city or town surcharge, pretty much, like I said, the IRC says you don't even have to come to us if it's below 15%. We don't recommend 15 because right there's the level, but 14. And we kind of go from there. So we want to, we don't need, I guess maybe a thumbs up on that, or we would recommend that be put in by the attorney into the ordinance that comes to you for first reading, and then you can go from there. Okay? So does that make sense? Any questions on that? Okay. Any other questions on the wastewater? So we've covered kind of where we are on the water, where we are on the electric, where we are on the wastewater. So the stormwater. So the stormwater report that we put together last year, you should have that in front of you. And that is the one that we recommended on page 1, the rate of $6 per EDU. And we recommended $6 flat per home. That's how we do it it's normally done. And we've been, Garrett's been struggling with this over the same period of time as you all. But I think they're moving ahead now. And it would happen to be one large golf course that was a concern. But so here you can see the $6 hasn't been, I think it's actually the same rate in Garrett, hasn't been the issue. It's when you get to some of the back, which starts on the non-residential. Now keep in mind, a home we actually took a sample and we calculated the average area of the residential on page 2 total, and the sample we got was 2007. If you have a 1,000 square foot home or a 4,000 square foot home, you're still going to pay $6. Okay, $6 flat is what we're recommending. Now, when you get to the larger ones that start on page 5, we put into effect a maximum of $35. And Michelle and Ron, you were here, I think, when I said this last year. The 35 could be 25, it could be 100. Okay? In Garrett, they have a lot larger commercial, so there we had recommended 250. That's what like New Haven's is up around there, because they're larger. Now yours, you have one large one, but most of them then are a matter of, if you have, we noticed with like the telephone company or something like that, that there's several buildings they have, so they get several $35 or something close, and that's on page 6. Where it says Citizens Telephone. And yes, they have several buildings that create stormwater runoff and therefore creates the need. Okay, so there's no real way of saying if you own 5 different parcels, we'll exempt 4 out of 5. Okay, I've not seen anybody ever do that. Okay, I don't think that would be arbitrary, and by law, you got to be cost-based, fair, and equitable. So, so I don't think there's a way to get around that. We have, in a lot of municipalities, exempted the actual town, if you wanted, but here on number 75, it was $6, so it wasn't too awful bad, but but there's been, normally, the State Board of Accounts says, if you're receiving a service, then the town should pay for the service. And,
We do. We
You
pay
know.
for electric, and we pay for water. And we
yeah,
pay for
so
sewer.
that's always what I call SOP, a standard operating procedure. So, I guess I'm back again, kind of to re-educate Ron, you and Michelle, but to help you, Megan and Scott, with what we kind of put together here. The overall budget was $62,000. That was on page 2. This is just something that, in our opinion, would help with what we believe will be the increasing stormwater need. I keep saying the 100-year flood. The last 3 times I went into Nashville, Tennessee, I think I ran into that 3 times this year already. And 4-inch and 5-inch rainstorms, they're happening around in Indiana too. And so, you've got decaying infrastructure below the ground. Marilyn said, and I couldn't mention one that's not too far from here, that I've seen pictures of. Keep in mind, there's a lot of stuff below the ground transporting stormwater that you don't know about yet.
It's a drain off of the highway that comes into.
You said I couldn't mention it.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's sort of like on track. It's a drain that comes into an old waterway.
And the waterway is down there, and obviously it's aging like everything else. Okay, and so that's where $62,006. I mean, it's not. It's going to be just like one of the townspeople kind of laughed. It takes a while to build it up, but it sure didn't take long to spend it. And if you had a stormwater problem out there, you're not going to be able to use wastewater. A lot of people say, well, we'll just use wastewater. That's got enough business to do. And so that's kind of why this is something we've talked about here in Warren for a little while.
Right.
And so we're saying, how can we help you if you want to implement it? How can we get there?
And this also, with stormwater, there are grants especially for stormwater, right? But we can't get them without the
Utility.
And it works by a board. You would be that board, but it's separate from council in that the stormwater board would meet. So it's a process. This is not going to happen next month.
And I brought this up that so they're looking at the Ohio River Basin as a cleanup area, and the Ohio River comes clear down from Pennsylvania. There are Pennsylvania Democrat representatives that had said, we would help sponsor something in making grants and loans available in the Ohio River Basin, which is very, very large, and saying that's an area that's never really been addressed with these grants and stuff like that. So if we get through some of the other difficulties that the federal government's having, we're hoping that whole area which would include all of Indiana pretty much, and would then open up something that's never been addressed. Okay, they've addressed more east, and they've addressed obviously out in the west, and so it's that type of thing that you're really kind of we're not going to be able to tackle if that fell through tomorrow. But hopefully it doesn't. It stays down there and works very, very well. And then when we build up our stormwater, we have some money to tackle it.
So most of our problem out at the sewage plant is actually from runoff. So if you look at the numbers, we're not anywhere near capacity from what we're getting on sewage, even adding Everfresh. If it rains, we are way over capacity.
But the main problem right now is the load. It's not the hydraulic. It's the load being put in is what Ben's trying to address. The capacity will increase. The capacity is okay. I mean, it can handle it. So if you put stormwater, that's going to reduce that. But the problem is the load that Everfresh has putting, how would you explain, putting
So
stuff in
load
the water?
is the constituents in the water.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
So
putting in,
BOD, suspended
So we can
solids.
handle 600,000 gallons a day.
that's
Right.
the load, that's the limit, yeah.
Right.
That's
And we're
the
currently at
quantity.
4
Yeah, we're on, if it's not raining, we're at 250 to 300.
at the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it rains, it's astronomical.
It's the load that's the problem is with Everfresh.
So,
And I've seen Santa Claus, Indiana throw 5 million into
Yeah.
I&I, and they still have tremendous I&I,
So the load is something other than the water that we're
the
selling.
quantity.
It's hydraulic and it's the
Yeah,
load.
because we're only selling them 10,000 gallons a day. I mean,
It's around 133,000 last month.
so.
Right now, but they're gonna get bigger.
Yeah, they're running one shift right now, and they're saying they might run two.
Well, and eventually 3,
Yeah,
so.
Okay.
that's a good question though.
Yeah, because
Well,
I'm wondering,
EP
how does this stormwater, if you have the stormwater, how does it play into trying to help keep it out of the sewage plant? Is what, I guess is the
You
question
have
I'm
separate
asking.
projects for stormwater.
Right.
But the infiltration, a lot of it might be coming from the sewers, right?
It's stormwater. It's water that's,
But how's it get to?
Well,
it doesn't come through the.
So I'm not your engineer,
storm-
but
Yeah.
Ben can help you, but I&I is infiltration
Yeah, yeah.
and inflow.
Right,
Infiltration is different than inflow. Inflow might be a direct source.
right.
Infiltration is where there's cracks and.
Where you got clay tiles running
Right.
out there and stuff.
And so what
Yeah.
people do is they use the stormwater, New Haven smoke test, and they eliminate over a period of time as much I&I as they can.
By lining pipes or so forth.
Yes, and this is a way you get that money.
We did a major, we still have 1.7 million on it of separation and closing down. It was much worse. The I&I we have now is a lot less than what it used to be. In fact, IDEM calls us separated and we're all set. But we still have I&I problems.
Yeah,
And I think every town, city probably does,
I would imagine.
yeah. But will EPA, is there anything about EPA ever funding such things as stormwater? though?
Well, again,
Is that from the Ohio
That would
Basin?
be if they opened up the Ohio River Basin as being a fundable area for
Okay.
grants and low-interest loans. Yes. I believe that will get more momentum, and, IDEM is trying to, they're trying to work on cleaning up streams and things like that. Remember, their latest project priority list had about 300 to 400 communities on it, just in Indiana.
Does
Okay.
SRF, State Revolving Loan Fund, do they provide funds for just
That's what I
stormwater?
was getting ready to ask.
No,
That's what I
that's,
I was getting ready
That's
to ask
why
that
we
same
need
question. But if it came down to it, if we could get a grant for stormwater, we could also have SRF for sewer.
sewer.
correct. We would absolutely go to SRF for the wastewater or the sewer.
Okay.
And we would probably, Warren's income's a little higher. Michelle, you must be kicking it up, I don't know. But the average income, or maybe it's Ron, we'll blame him.
I work part-time, so.
Yeah, the average income in the area was a little stronger than it has been in the past, so we always didn't qualify for a subsidized. But, in comparison to, again, remember the 300 that you're competing against. So we would absolutely keep you under SRF. It is a bond. It is like I said, they're already your mortgage banker on the water. And so it is obviously the lowest cost financing we can get anywhere.
Is that still at isn't it, what are we now, 2.5? It's still very low.
Oh, we were,
Even though we
water
can-
was 2%, I thought, here.
It could be. We
It's
didn't-
2%.
Yeah, we didn't qualify for the free.
2 and 2.17, but that rate has gone up to about
Has it?
3 and 3.5 now. Yeah, the subsidized rate.
The other side of that, there's called an Okra grant. And,
Yes.
but our income level's too high.
That's what I was
So
thinking.
we've moved out, unless you would do a special census and find out it is lower, but with income out that way, maybe.
And was that partly because of how many people actually responded, or does everybody have to respond to it?
That's what they came out
That's what
with.
they came out with. I
Yeah.
mean,
You had a
That's why I said you could do another study.
just to
and
make
really-
sure it's truly
You
accurate.
could, some towns have hired people to go door to door, and so you can get but yes, I hate to say it, but the higher the income, the more, but that's a fact right now in the census, is that we're too high of an income level to use Okra funds.
Right. But
And that's another grant that maybe,
would it be
Yeah,
worth
and-
us, would it
and-
be worth us investing in that
Yeah.
to possibly try to go
I
for
mean,
were we
Okra
close?
funds?
I mean-
We've
It was
always,
close.
we've
It was
always
close.
been.
it was close. What, do you remember, 52, 48?
Don't remember now. It did cost you about $25,000-$30,000 or more to do that. You know, those are not. Ball State
Right.
used to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing it anymore. And they even heard it was in the tens of thousands. We don't do it. You know, there are
Yeah.
firms, and like Ball State was doing it for some of the municipalities.
So if it works, you could get lots of money. It could pay
Well, yeah,
off.
because you have to still call,
Yeah.
it's called a special census, and you have to pay, the federal government and everybody.
How easy is it to get Okra funds for something like that? if
There
you
again,
qualify?
it depends on the
It's
competition.
points.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Points.
And what bite of this apple on the wastewater you're gonna bite, okay?
Right.
And when we say the rates are going, you're gonna bite it off for 10 million, and the rates are gonna quadruple, okay? That's the hard word that you have to put out when you go for the grant. But the answer is, you know, you gotta show the evidence of what it's going to do. So then, you know, to score the points.
Okay.
You have to realize with SRF too, that they'll tell you what you have to have as a rate. We've gone through that, you two have gone through that. They'll tell you,
That's a-
fortunately for us, we had it where we needed to be, but they will tell you, to get this money, you're gonna have to have a rate of this.
Right.
You have to, but
So-
we're already basically at it, so.
After we tackle the first phase, we'll want to tackle the second phase. We'll want to put out the evidence on the larger phase, try and get you lined up for grants and low interest loan before you take a bite out of that apple. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of set you up for it.
Okay.
And then you know, before you're quadrupling the rates, where you stand. And, you know, quite frankly, if you don't get a grant, you do a different phase.
Okay.
Okay? That's kind of the way we have to plan.
So you're not actually contractually obligated to do that phase then if the money doesn't come through, is what you're saying?
Until you sign the contract, no, you're not.
Okay. So you can go after the money without actually, you can say, this is our plan, this is what we have in place. We're trying
Correct,
to get
and
this money.
you'll find where you score on
Okay.
the PPL. Now, they will not fund you until you're ready. They may
Yeah.
say, oh, you're not ready, okay, well, you're next year's. And so your level on the project priority list, the PPL, your level may change a little bit, but because they will fund the ones that are ready to go.
You really have to have it engineered before you go for the,
Yeah.
big
you have to
That's what
pay
I
that
figured,
up
yeah.
front. Yeah.
That's what I figured.
And
Okay.
you have to use cash, like we've been using, to fund those things, you know, to get them lined up.
Right.
So-
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry I'm taking up a lot of the rooster time,
It's
but,
okay.
you know, any
Stuff we
other,
need to talk about.
any other questions? And so our next step on the stormwater would be kind of introduce the ordinance. Then we would assume that what you would do is you would set the wastewater and the stormwater public hearing. I'll come up and do the public hearing with you and answer the questions, but it's Mr. Obvious that, you know, we gotta kind of move, you know, I think, you know, if you just keep waiting, you know, I just passed $7 on diesel. The cost will go up.
The
There's no
ordinance-
doubt about it on the construction.
The
Is
ordinance
it
for
some-
stormwater's already been introduced.
Except he said
Oh,
to
okay.
change it and add the surcharge to it, right? Do we need, if it's been
Well,
introduced?
stormwater, we will not have the 14 because you
Okay.
do not serve
Yeah.
stormwater outside your city limits.
Did I put the ordinance for
The
stormwater?
wastewater.
I can send it, you've
Wastewater,
had
yeah.
it, yeah.
We had it
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
we've had it.
computer, I know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 6 and 30, I thought it
So,
was
right,
6
you don't do any stormwater outside the town
Okay,
limits, period.
okay.
You know, and nor would you offer that, because you really don't have stormwater lines that you want to put in for that.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Is it something with the, this is just me asking questions, so, and
Please.
I'm sure you're gonna be like, why would you ask that question? But the wastewater, do we have to do it in 3 years, or could we spread it out in 4 years, or is it only 3 years because we want to get that paid off in 3 years?
and that's not a dumb question at all. You really do need, we believe the 3 years is, you know, because we know what's happening on the other project, you really do need it.
We can't
3
spread it
years
out.
was a stretch. We were
Okay.
being nice at that.
Good to hear.
We really thought it needed to come
Right.
sooner.
Okay.
And now, you know, as we put together the comprehensive plan, if we want to move some money and get it paid off sooner, then, but, you know, it's inevitable that that bigger project will come to a theater near you pretty quick.
Right.
And it will be a big price tag. So you're going to say, wow, you know, if we take a little time to get there, then we probably advantage the customer the best way we can.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
so there are no dumb questions, so
Well-
please ask.
I mean, it's obvious what's here, but at the same time, I just was curious what the consequence was, or why we couldn't spread that out even more.
The pressure's coming.
The pressure is coming for other things, and so we need to
I
get
think
into
it's the
that.
hardest thing, this rate increases. Really,
Yeah,
it's
it
the
affects
hardest.
everybody, and why would we want to do that
Well-
to anyone?
And in
And you
reverse,
pay
it,
Yeah, we
We
pay
pay
it
it
too.
too.
So,
in addition, it impacts the town's costs, because we pay the same
Town
rate.
pays it too.
So
Yeah, it's everybody.
it's always a tough call, but having been here for a couple years, this took me by shock, by total surprise, to see 10 million floating around when it had never been mentioned, so.
Well, I guess that's why I would like to see a comprehensive plan before we make any other decisions.
Well, I think you
So-
need to make a decision on the blowers.
Right,
Can
right,
we-
yeah.
So let me ask you, are you ready to have an ordinance prepared for that, so we can get the blower thing underway? Because if the blowers go down, you have no sewer plant. That's a critical issue.
And we're down to,
It's
got
in
one
here,
you've got one
You-
running on
you-
one
you
side of the
can't
road
run
and
it.
one on the other side of the
you
road.
can't run it.
And then you have one that has been ran as backup when one was down, and you got one that is
Rebuilt.
not running at this
Yeah,
time.
you have, and rebuild. Yeah,
So
there's a
that's
big
where we're
rebuild.
at right now.
Yeah, you really don't want to wait.
There's
Right.
not hardly a delay for that. I wish
The-
Dustin could not be here tonight.
I'm a little
but-
sticker shocked,
right, but it's-
honestly, but yeah, that's the situation we have right now.
and
It
that's,
would be a greater sticker shock if you have to haul it.
Dustin can could explain it better, but there's two running part of the plant, there's two running part of the plant, other part of the plant.
I thought
And
I
on
had
these
that.
two, this one has been used for backup. On the other two, this one does not work.
The one for backup's been rebuilt.
The one for backup is a rebuild.
A rebuild.
So
we don't-
that's where we're at on that.
What are the blowers used for?
Pardon me?
What are the blowers used for? I mean, what's the purpose of the blowers?
They
That's what I'm
airrate the sewage so
Everything's
that it'll
churned.
settle out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
So you can't make,
The bad stuff goes to the bottom, the
Yep.
good stuff,
comes to the top. That's
the
exactly
top.
what it's for.
That's
it's treated,
important then.
yes.
The plant doesn't operate without it, I'll say that.
You don't,
Yeah.
you don't want all bad stuff or you're gonna smell it, I don't care where you live.
Yeah.
yeah,
So the question remains,
payment.
ordinance, prepare an ordinance.
yeah,
I
it doesn't
agree.
sound like we need
Yes.
to put that off.
Yeah, we don't wanna be in
And
deep.
that cost right there is also, it's still technically an estimate, it's not an actual quote, correct?
Well, you've been on council a while, and you always heard me say that if not against him, but if he says it's 900,000, it'll be over $1 million before
Right,
you're done.
exactly. So
And,
I just want to put that
yeah.
out there so that it's clear that
Yeah.
that may not be the exact amount.
So
It could
on
be.
that project, I'm assuming, is that like a 3-bid project?
If I can finish what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
go
there.
ahead.
It will
Go
be
for it.
bid, and so the bids, of course, will force the price down a little. So you just never know with the economy the way it is, their costs are up.
Could go up.
And if they're in Fort Wayne, that's one thing. If they're in, where was that route from that put the water tower in from way out west somewhere? It just depends.
Because then they're gonna have a larger mobilization fee,
Right.
which I've learned a lot about in the last few
You
months.
have, haven't you?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I will work with Greg and we'll get this to the attorney then.
Any other questions for me? If not, thank you for putting me at the top of the agenda. I appreciate that.
Next
Yeah,
time you're
thank
at
you.
the bottom and everybody can leave it, but we'll listen to you.
And good luck with the roosters. I think they've been outlawed, though, in a lot of places.
All right. So moving on, thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Minutes for April 13th. Did anyone
You
have any?
know what, though? I don't have minutes for April 13th. I don't know, this is for
Oh,
This
that's
is
for
the-
the
these
23rd.
special, these are, so it's really for the minutes of April of, oh yeah, here's 23rd. Duh.
23rd. but we didn't
23rd
have-
and May 4th special meetings.
Okay.
I don't have them for the April
For the
13th
actual,
meeting.
for the original
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, so I'll get
Any
those
oth-
to you.
okay.
Yeah. Any
other
additions or
comments or-
corrections to those?
No, not me. I read them.
Okay. Citizens comment.
Okay.
Police department.
I don't have a monthly report. I was quite busy in the last few days. I haven't had a chance to get to that. I'll try to finish it and then email it to you all.
Okay.
Fire department.
Well, I see the police
sorry.
officer hire, so that, we're gonna do that
Yeah.
here in a little
That's
bit.
on the
Okay,
agenda.
all right.
It's on the agenda.
Um,
The fire department report you have, don't you? I hope,
Yes.
okay, because I don't have it. And the fire truck is outside, so when you leave the meeting, you can see that. I'd asked them if they would bring it down, so
Okay.
we could at least see it, so. Utility street manager again, Dustin couldn't be here, so let's go through his, report. TMV, you guys have had this, so you probably read it. So we'll go down to the discussions. IMEA, it's the last thing on his report. You have this in your packet, it says IMEA on it. And this is for Jackson to attend the first apprentice workshop.
Oh, okay.
It's, I don't really understand the registration fees. We're an IME, if you go to the last page, that's Indiana Municipal Electric Association member.
Okay.
So that's 2,400. So, he would like to send Jackson to that. The the study guide is $500 and the textbooks are $250. The first session is tree climbing, or
Pole climbing.
I think maybe I've had it. They're gonna go climb trees. Pole climbing, which we do not have, but in the process to learn other safety features.
Okay. No, that's what I was wondering, if that was even one, like if he could still get his full apprenticeship if
He wouldn't.
he
He'd have to
wouldn't,
go
he'd
to
have to go
this.
through that one.
This
Okay.
is, I think Dustin told you it was a
Yeah.
four-year program.
Okay.
Yep.
So how do you feel about that?
That was,
I feel like that was kind of the idea we had when we
Yeah.
hired him. So.
Is there a motion or whatever?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
I will second.
So Ron,
Yes.
Megan,
yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
All right.
Since we are an IMEA member, we aren't paying for that necessarily, like we aren't paying for that membership, or we are paying for that membership. Like,
We have a membership.
we have a membership, but that safety
If
program
it's just a
member.
safety membership, we don't have a safety membership. We have the full membership.
Oh, so that's included with it.
Mhm.
Okay.
We have everything. They're gonna do everything. for Jackson.
Okay,
It's not just safety.
Oh,
training.
okay, yeah.
gotcha.
Okay, then, on the camera situation, let me get this in here, I'm gonna be behind camera. This is, camera, you have two quotes here that you've seen. The first is from Stylus, and that's from Bluffton, and they've done all our work here and have worked with us before. Their proposed investment is $12,000, but you need to add, they didn't have a camera on the back of the utility garage, so that would add about $800 to it, so it's under $13,000. And then you have from Imperial, and like I say, Stylus is out of Bluffton. This is out of Fort Wayne, and their total cost would be $18,550. The Stylus, we did have a conference with them in the office. Rick Elwell was here. Theirs also includes updating like the camera. I don't want to go too much detail, but the camera at Town Hall is analog. Well, you were there, analog. It's updating everything. Mm-hmm. And it would tie into the office, the way I understand, to the office. We would monitor in the office. And it's a more complete system. Dustin felt a more complete system than what the Imperial was.
I like it that they're local and they're
They've done great
close
with
and
our
we've used them before.
sound.
And if I
And they're happy
can,
with their work.
when they come back in, there's no charge. I mean, when he's had to come back in and adjust, it's just coming. So is there any kind of motion?
Well, it sounded like that was kind of where Dustin was leaning towards as well in his
Yes.
notes.
Yes, yeah.
So I trust that you guys had that. I mean, Dennis, do you feel like that was a,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't talk to the other company, but I talked to him about adding a few things, because ours is analog.
yeah,
Which is like old,
right,
I think
Right.
15, 20 years old.
Right.
Okay.
Our our interview room doesn't work at this time, so if we have to interview someone, we have to go to Huntington and take them to Huntington to interview.
okay.
Or have them meet us there, so.
So you felt like this was-
So, yeah, he said he could add a couple more cameras, it wouldn't be too.
It'd be about $800.
Okay.
The camera in the office just focuses on the counter.
Okay.
The one they're putting on is gonna be the whole office. What was it? Rick Elwell said that we'll even see you, what was it he said?
If you're screwing on the internet or something like that.
Something, it was like if,
Buying off a Temu or something.
yeah, that was what he said. If you're buying off a Temu, we'll be able to see it.
Okay.
I know this was Jackson's background. Is he able to put them up to save money, or is this all?
Pardon me, what was the question?
So, like, I know Jackson came from this background. Is he able to?
He'll be working with him, but this will be, Stylus will do it, but Jackson will then maintain the system.
Okay.
Is there any,
I'll make a motion to move forward with the stylus.
I'll second.
Ron,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Scott?
Yes.
All right, the next one is for a tool chest, it's a bolt chest. The order total here is $2,498.79. The one down there has been down there, it's got a lot of stuff that's not even used anymore. I think Dustin did talk to you the last meeting about this. So here's the quote, he has one quote. I don't know why he has one, but it falls under 5,000, so you can do it with one quote, it's up to you.
Did I see somewhere where we just got a bill for something on the other one?
That was the medicine.
Centos.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We made it a month without any charge from Centos on that one.
Good. I mean, I'm curious what another quote would be, just so that we can compare,
Okay, I'll just get a second.
not to
Okay, I don't know, that's why I say I don't
prolong
know.
it. I don't know if it's, yeah, if that's the
Okay.
only one he can find,
Mhm.
then okay. But I'd like, you guys have any other thoughts on that?
I agree.
It's
I
nice
agree.
to have
Give-
quotes.
Got another one.
So I think that was it, right?
I think that's it. They've been busy.
Okay.
All right, police officer hire, there's 3 applications. You talked about it at the last meeting, but are you ready to set a meeting, or how do you want to move forward with this?
I personally would like to set a meeting with Dennis to
Yeah.
kind of go over this.
Can we just schedule an executive session?
Absolutely,
for
let's
that?
do it.
And
You should can schedule whenever you.
What works for you guys?
Dennis, what works for you?
I'm pretty free. Well,
Okay.
Weekends get kind of hectic, but I'm
Yeah.
sure we're not doing
Don't
that.
think we're doing the weekends. I don't think you have to worry about it. I am, yeah. So we have this week.
I have to have 48 hours from
Oh, 48
Yeah,
hours.
so
Okay.
we'd
So
have
it'd
to
be
wait
Thursday
Thursday.
night would be the earliest.
I'm out Thursday night.
So what about,
Do you go away every Thursday night?
No, I'm just saying.
we could do next Monday. Is
Monday.
What does Monday look for you guys?
I work next Monday, but
Or
if you have to
Tuesday.
have it without me, that's okay.
At 4:30?
Is this just,
in the evening event.
Yeah, okay.
is this a meeting with Dennis to discuss it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just Dennis.
Okay, so
Yes.
it's just a meeting with Dennis?
Yeah, just to
about
discuss it.
Tuesday.
Or else we won't vote on anything, but.
The 19th.
Can I ask what happened to the last guy, the one that went to, did we hire somebody?
He's serving.
He's in,
He's been deployed.
Okay, I didn't know, sure, we're
Okay.
replacing him just until he gets
Okay.
back, or
So-
is he?
No, just to bring our manpower up.
Okay.
So,
Had an
The
increase.
Special meeting.
19th,
Okay.
Tuesday night?
What is it?
Yeah, okay.
the 19th.
19th, Tuesday the
Okay,
19th?
good.
Yes, I can do the
Okay.
19th.
You good for the 19th?
19th, okay.
What time?
I'm 4:30 or 5, whatever you.
What are you?
4:30 is fine. If
4:30?
4:30?
Okay. Or I can do it before that too, it's whatever you guys. I'm-
I would prefer we do it that way if we can.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably couldn't do
Okay.
much earlier than 4:30.
Okay, the next item is the water meter data collection system, and you have in your packet the coverage analysis for adding the second data collector. You will not see the cost though, so this is sort of like half of what you need. But when Dustin and I were looking at it, and we had some questions, because these maps are hard to read.
I was gonna ask if anybody else had a problem understanding this, because
Yes.
I was struggling.
Yes.
I was.
So, Dustin and I would like to suggest that maybe Ben or Scott, one of the Neptune people, come in and explain
I
before.
think that would be
That'd be
great.
Because we looked at the, I said, well, I don't see the difference between this and this.
Okay, good, I'm not the only one.
No, I was-
I was like, I don't.
Well,
get this.
because your question, every one of them shows this, well, does that mean the coverage area will now extend out
Yeah.
here, or so, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll call him.
I feel better, anyway.
Ben and Doug will probably be here. Okay, then it's back to you, Michelle.
All right, so we have park board appointments, and we are going to, name our 4, I guess our each, it's Monday. We're going to each name our 4 appointments that we want to make, and then depending on what we choose, we'll have discussion, or we will just
Yeah,
appoint them.
if we pick
That sound good?
different people, we'll have to have some discussion.
Okay. Okay. And I will start, and we talked about putting them in order of our
4 to
Four.
1, yeah.
4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. So, my first one is Mike Haggerty, with 4 years. And then Troy Dreyer with 2. And then,
With 2?
or sorry, with 3.
Okay.
And then Jessica Stuckey with 2. And then Mackenzie with 1.
Are you sure? Did you look at my paper?
Huh?
Are you cheating in class? Because that's mine.
Okay, well,
Mine's-
great.
So I
Good
don't need to
hear.
read mine. Mine was the same as hers.
Okay.
I just had Mackenzie and Jessica switched. So
And-
other than that, mine were the
Okay.
same.
She and I were the same as far as our terms and people.
Okay. Well,
So we all chose the same 4,
We
just
just gotta
difference
decide
in the,
on the last
It-
2
2
of
and
the
1.
years.
it might not be a bad idea. So I guess our appointments are fine. So
Yes.
we know Mike, Troy, Jessica, Mackenzie.
Yes.
Maybe it's not a bad idea to put Mackenzie in that 2-year spot, especially with her grant writing background. If we get that process, if we get that park plan done, then having her in there another year would be a
I'm okay with that,
Possibility.
knowing that
You're
that
gonna
Jessica
be-
can run
can run
again
again.
in 1
Yeah.
year, so,
Exactly.
Yeah.
so that doesn't bother me
So
that
you're gonna be
much.
making the appointments.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that doesn't really
so-
bother
So
me.
you're saying Mackenzie for 2 years?
2 years.
And then Jessica
And if,
for one.
I guess we can ask them if they don't want it, then we'll readjust those.
Oh, you will
but-
when their term's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So you need a motion for that.
I will make a motion.
I'll second it.
Are there hand signals going on here?
Yeah, I saw his glasses moving, so I stopped for a
Okay,
second.
Ron,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
I will
How many
send
applicants did you get?
7. Okay,
Second.
the LIT meeting, which Greg alluded to, the local.
Before we go to that, do we want to appoint a council member to serve on that as well? Do we need to appoint that? Or?
Yeah, we can.
I vote
Okay.
Michelle because this is her project and her
Yeah,
baby.
yeah, that you can do, because it's going to take a month or 2 to get this
Get
set
that
up.
going.
So
Okay.
if you want to, but I think it's Michelle's baby.
But Megan has the park experience.
started
Hey,
this.
Megan, is that
You
consensus?
I will help, but this is your project.
Okay,
This is
Michelle.
your dedication.
Okay, move on. Megan.
Okay, local income tax meeting is May 21st in Huntington at 9:30, I think it is, I sent it to you. I did watch a seminar on it, Greg and I were talking about it earlier. As an AIM will be coming out, our municipal association too, it's a bit of a chaos thing right now. So they delayed it to 28, sorta kinda, but there's what's called must, and it's the units have to, in the county, have to go through a procedure right now with the county to decide whatever. So this meeting is sort of along the line of the webinar. If you go on to AIM, AIM, I believe you can see the webinar. If not, you can come to the office and watch it. Greg said it was protected, that it wasn't available to vendors or whatever. But the gentleman from, maybe he was from AIM, I can't remember, and lady did a really good job of explaining the impacts and everything. So everything goes back to the warnings we've talked about before, is protect yourself. Because this seems to be a fluid thing, and as the legislature changes, it may become more strict, or it may become, nobody knows for sure. So, but the must meeting is what these groups are called, where the county meets together, and the mayor has called that. So if anybody wants to go with me, I welcome the company, and we'll go and see. At the warm meeting, which is May 28th, and we're hosting, we've been appointed. Supposedly, someone from AIM, I suggested, since we're hosting it, that they bring somebody from AIM up to talk about LIT, so that you hear firsthand sort of what's going
He
on.
did share the last one that we had. No, was the last? Oh, I can't remember.
Well, this is all
Yes.
update, though. This is.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So it might not be a bad idea to hear
It's-
some
yeah.
additional.
So I asked, and
input.
if he doesn't contact AIM, I will, and see if we can't get here, so that everybody in the county.
I saw we were hosting, where's that at?
Here.
Right here?
It's back here on the agenda. We usually host in July, so I was a little.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was a little blindsided there, but it's sort of not run by us anymore, so. So anyway, that's the 21st. Okay, I gave you the renewal for the benefit insurance, and I also put it back in here. I didn't know if you'd be bringing it with you. It's still the 11% increase, which according to the clerk's listserv was not bad. Some of them are seeing 15 and 16%. And as I had shared with you, we always budget for 10, so we're set for it. A little insight here for the two of you. The budgets are always in the tax, or what's called the general fund. The utilities don't have actual budgets. We run it by the appropriation report. Do you remember the appropriation where? So at the end of the year, we take that, whatever we spent that in 25, whatever we spent in 25 becomes our budget, just so we can track, So when I say it's not budgeted or it's budgeted, it's always about the general fund, okay? So, everybody, Megan, you're looking at me, I'm like.
I deal with the general fund now, so good.
And Greg's thing about the salaries, all of us basically are for electric, water, sewer, except for mine, electric, water, sewer, general, motor vehicle, highway. So everybody is, it's called a distribution, actually. So let's say you make $1,000 a week, but it doesn't come out of just one fund. It comes
Right.
200, 200, 200, 200. So that's what he's talking about there. And when he's talking about distributions, like wastewater, there have been times, not often, maybe only a couple times, when those were changed because of just what he said. Is like, okay, we're gonna be spending this whole year, well, on the separation project 20 years ago, the sewer bore more of the cost of the employees because they were all out working on that sewer all the time. But that's only been once, maybe twice. So that's what he's alluding to there. And you see it on your,
Yeah.
on the wage and salary benefit ordinances, you see it printed across there.
Or it tries to keep it all uniform
Yeah,
and consistent
basic-
instead
so-
of all lumped
so-
up into one.
So where I'm going, like if your insurance run is $1,000 a month, it's really coming out of 4 funds. Because it comes out of the 3 utilities and MVH. So that's what that all means, all that gibberish. So the renewal is July 1st. Everybody's happy with the insurance. It's been good insurance. No disclaimers about it. It's age-based, so sort of kind of wherever
Stay
you
young.
go with, it's gonna be the same thing, basically. It's a good plan. You pay a $3,000 HSA. The employee pays 50 cents a week, or a paycheck, 50 cents a paycheck, 40% of dependent coverage. So I think you've seen all those facts and figures. So what do you want to do with that? It's really too late right now, let me give you, it's really too late right now to go out and source it out.
Right, yeah.
So
That's
you
right.
really are gonna have to renew it, and then if something comes up, you can move on to something else. I think most, or I can't say that, I know a couple other towns in this area still use PHP, I don't know about the others. It's pretty much used.
Then I'll say go ahead and I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
Ron,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
Okay, it's not on your agenda, but we have ordinance 2026-9. And this is from the action you took at the last meeting, and this is Drew, who will be starting on Thursday, to set his rate per hour at $17.50. Since he'll be starting Thursday, I'm gonna ask you to waive the rules, for someone to make a motion to waive the rules to allow for consideration of an adoption of an ordinance at the same meeting as just adopt the ordinance at the same meeting as introduction. Somebody, repeat that, Scott.
We've already talked about it, so move on. That's what she said. Pretty much, which we have.
I will make a motion to waive the rules.
Okay, this is Michelle, second,
I'll second.
Scott. Okay, Ron?
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
Entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance.
I will make that motion as well.
I'll second it.
Ron,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Michelle,
Yes.
and Scott.
Yes.
Any other? Have a request from the festival committee to have a hydrant painting project before the festival. It was really well received the last time, except by a few people who caused problems, but
Fire department's okay with it?
They have to leave the cap. They have
I knew there was a color
I
on the
thought
cap.
there was
so-
a certain,
Yeah.
color and they didn't
Yeah.
wanna,
So as long as they don't paint that to hide the color.
And I don't think we'll hear that from this fire department, but somebody will, anyway, they would paint the barrel of the
Right,
hydrant,
okay.
not the cap.
And the theme is 250th, or what's their parameter?
I assume that's what they were talking. But even if not, the one
checking.
across from me was quilting, which always killed me, because it's like, who knew that?
That's funny.
And I'm thinking that's what it'll be. But those,
Okay.
whatever paint they use, it has really lasted. It's really,
Then we don't have to paint them.
That's fine. I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it.
Will they get to choose their own hydrant, or are you they gonna assign the hydrants, or?
that,
That I don't care about.
I-
They can do what they
That's what
want.
committee's gonna figure that one out.
Whoever's in charge of this
I
can do what
suppose
they
they
want.
probably wanna find one that everybody's gonna see. Now,
Yeah,
I'll paint the
that's
one that
something.
nobody
Yeah.
sees, cause
Yeah.
last time they started downtown, and then if somebody special, like, you'd want a hydrant in front of your house, and
Right.
so,
Yeah.
but that's all up to them, all up
Okay.
to them.
Somebody is in charge.
Okay, we have an introduction to ordinance 2026-10, which is ordinance for amendment of chapter 74, schedule 1, stop intersections. And this is what we talked about previously, that
Mhm.
traffic on Van Molson will stop for traffic on Holiday Drive.
Okay, so I've had some comments from people there, and I don't think this was exactly what they were wanting, or maybe this request got mixed up a little bit. And there's been a request to remove the sign at Winter Haven and Halliday. There's no sign needed there. And I think maybe originally they wanted a yield sign instead of a stop sign at the other one.
I talked to the HOA president, and he said stop sign.
Okay, well, I know there's an extra
Well,
one
then you
there,
just talk
but
to
maybe we need
If you had
to
let me know. we could
clarify
check. Okay.
what that
What-
is before.
What's
we
the,
move
so there's a
forward.
different intersection you just mentioned, it's not,
Winter Haven is over on the other, well.
There's a
Terry's
stop sign there too, because there's two of them, right? Do you know this?
No,
Okay.
there's just one.
There's just one. Well, apparently there's
Well-
two stop signs that.
No, Winter Haven, I don't think there's any stop signs.
here. I didn't think there
Okay.
was.
Well, it may be something we look into before we.
I'd like
move into.
clarification.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm trying to think, I don't think so, but.
Okay,
Okay.
that's introduction.
all right.
Okay.
So that's just something to look into before we move into it.
alrighty.
We have a street closure request by First Christian Church for a back-to-school block party on August 8th. That would be closing from Main Street to Nancy Street.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Side street, okay.
And a reminder, 2 council positions will be up in the November election notice. So since the primary is over, I'll be sending out notice of that on the newsletter.
Mhm.
That would be ours, Megan.
Yeah, that's. you-
Thanks, Scott.
you-
Yeah, just in case you didn't know.
I wasn't quite sure. Thank you.
Right, Megan.
Oh.
The warm meeting, yes, well, yes, I got an email all of a sudden that we're hosting this meeting. I can't remember the time, did I send you the time?
You did.
This was the
Right.
Eric Long.
Like
Yeah,
6:30.
one, right?
6 to 7:30.
Yeah,
I
6 to
was-
7:30.
Oh, was it? I thought it was 6:30, okay.
So usually the host provides a meal.
Thank-
As you know, I'm gonna be sort of like
Is it 6
not
to
knowing
7:30?
how I'm gonna be, so
7:30,
I
yeah.
would
Okay.
suggest, we've always had it in the summer and had cookout, but not quite time for that. So be thinking about options for food so I can get that ordered.
Okay.
We've used before, in hosting other meetings, we've used sub platters from Subway. We've used pizza from East Chicago. We've used pizza from Wagon Wheel before, on other meetings, not one. Wagon Wheel can
That's what I
cater.
was wondering, what's their
She's
catering menu?
having, she might be not available, so I don't know. I'll
Oh,
talk to
okay.
Laura.
What about Mexican?
We can do
Well, I'm
Mexican
getting
too,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Mexican restaurant, so,
Cater too. Okay,
just think
They-
about
yeah,
it and
they
let
cater
me
too.
know,
yeah.
yeah.
I know I've been involved in chamber where all that you listed, Wagon Wheel, East of Chicago, Mexican, they've all been very good, so.
And I will be looking to see if one of our vendors will, or 2 or 3 will sponsor it. We'll see. Usually they come through with it.
Good. That's not very far away.
I know, and I'm
I
gonna
mean,
be,
yeah.
I'm gonna be out of
Yeah,
commission
I'm
for
like,
some of that.
that's coming up, so.
And the Walton Masonic Cemetery, anybody have a chance to look at
Yes,
that?
I've looked at it, it's gonna take some sort of an anchoring, I guess, I just don't know.
Well, I looked
The
at it. I called and
dynamics.
talked to Jerry Picknew because he's
Right.
a trustee out there. And he said he's been trying for quite some time now to get a quote to repair or replace the wall. He doesn't have one yet, so.
Well, and Dustin looked at it too. So he said, we were just discussing because we don't know. So he was looking for somebody to give some actual quotes.
Yeah,
and
because,
some actual company, what do we need to do here?
yeah. I don't think you're gonna fix it. I mean,
We
look,
just need to replace it.
I think it needs replaced.
that's the way it looks to me.
Needs replaced.
That's the way it looks to me.
That's
I'm not
what
a professional
Dustin-
concrete guy, but I have been around
That's
some
what
days.
Dustin thought too.
Then I was
'Cause
just
there
going
was
by
a-
some,
There's
Yeah.
a top slab. Did I send you those? There's a top slab on it somewhere.
Yeah, it's capped. And so the cap looks like it's coming loose from the
Yes,
wall, looks like
yes.
kind of the issue.
Yeah, and the
Part of the
wall's
issue,
falling.
plus the wall is leaning. And so that's why I called Jerry, because I know he mowed it and he's one of the trustees up there, whatever. He's like, I have been trying to get somebody to give me a price to.
Okay. So if it's okay, we'll move with that and see what we can find out.
Yep, I told him, I said, if you hear anything, let us know what you find out.
My
communication.
contact was Ryan Klein,
Okay,
and so,
who is gonna be Jerry's replacement one of these days, I do believe.
okay,
Yep,
so
I think so.
Ryan Klein.
Mhm.
So Dustin said he would just try to find some people to come in, and
Yep,
it's gonna be pretty extensive.
yep, it is.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, you have your claims register. First is the claims register. It's in the amount of $664,890.31. Of course, $240,000 of that is for the fire truck that's sitting outside. For part payment of the fire truck. The fire truck did not cost $240,000.
Yeah, wish.
Other than that, there's not anything, our Wolverine bill, came this month and it's down to $107,000 from $140,000. So people will see a reduction in their electric cost. We did have Peerless Midwest, they had done, the work at well number 1. And that was $34,375, which was the bid, the quote. Burkott was the Nancy Street sewer, well, it says sewer, it was water. So Burkott's all paid now. So that's done, and I think that's all. Unless you have a question. Oh, yeah, we had insurance paid. Our general insurance paid.
There's always so much reading.
If we could get this in soon, I could send it, but we usually wait till the last minute so we can pay every bill that we can, since we only meet once a month.
Right, yeah.
We have problems with that, but those are the big differences. But even if you have questions, you can bring them to the next meeting. So I'll have you sign that.
Excuse me, my stomach's cramping.
Okay, the the allowance, payroll allowance. vouchers. Oh, we had 5 pays in April. The regular pay was $43,613.65. Overtime, $1,307.14. And you can see that in, let me find it here. I copy this on both sides and I can't find it. You'll see that in the April 15th pay. And that was the water project on Nancy Street. Well, actually, it's water and sewer project. The sewer project was replacing that lateral that burst on the new sewer line, or not on the new sewer line, the lateral from a residence to the sewer line. And
Okay,
so
the one that you said they were gonna try to go 5 feet or whatever?
yeah, so
Okay.
the town did fix that, just went ahead and fixed it.
Okay.
Other than that, overtime was just as usual.
Okay. Small month.
Financial reports I gave you already. The fund report.
Oh, yeah, that's back in here. Put that back in here.
Nothing major. Of course, the big things you'll see the difference in the fund report are from the 3 funds that paid for the fire truck, our share of the fire truck, or this last share of the fire truck. And that is the Cume Fire, local income tax, and fire donation fund. So the fire donation fund now is at 0. I don't know if it's, did we pay that in April? We did pay it in April, yeah. So other than that, funds remaining pretty steady.
So in case anybody online didn't hear that, the fire donation fund is at 0. In case anybody's feeling generous today.
Well, it was a major help this time.
It was a major help
Pockets
this
there.
time, it really was.
Yeah.
Tax deduction to
It was
consider.
good, it was
Yeah,
good.
tax deductible,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Tax
Want to donate?
deductible.
Let's give all the positives here.
We can put
Come on,
your name
everybody.
the plaque. The donation we're getting now is anonymous, so we can't put a name on the
Yeah,
plaque.
yeah.
Anyway. So the next meeting is June 8th, and we will be closed Memorial Day.
Is that all you have in there? Or do you need more? Park, I had some things for the park.
What?
I had some things for the park.
All right.
So I wasn't sure if you had anything else. I didn't want to jump ahead if you had. We had, I had Jason Garrison contact Jeremy, and then found out that I contacted him back. And he is also trying to coordinate the league that we had originally given him permission to use the park in the fall, and he's trying to coordinate that. And I know there was an issue that was brought up last month at our meeting, and so I think we need to figure out next steps as a council, whether we want to determine who's going to use the park, or if we want to defer this to the park board, if we want to just have 1 or 2 council members try to coordinate a meeting with the 3 people who are trying to run the leagues. I don't know what the answer is necessarily, but I think as a council we need to figure out something to help move things along and help ease some of the tension.
I don't think we can defer it until the park board gets a chance to look at it. And I do know that Megan has a lot of experience in this situation.
Well, keep in mind that the council's the one that's going to set up charges and everything.
Yep.
So it's, if you defer it to the park board, you're
Yeah,
giving
yeah.
them something that they don't have.
You're dumping
Right.
something on them that they're gonna have to try
Now
to.
you can ask the park board to find out what other parks do that are small like ours,
Right.
or how they handle,
So
Yeah,
a
I guess
Band-Aid would be nice.
I guess my opinion would be to meet with the people that want to use it, figure out schedules, and then go from there. To figure out when it's available. And it's a public park, but we want to accommodate everybody, especially when so many people are charging teams to use the facility.
And I
Which is
think
something
that's
that we're
where-
gonna need
that's
to
what-
address.
What she's looking for, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So-
something we're gonna need to
So
address.
to start out cold is how do others do that? Because as talked about the last meeting, when somebody moves in there on Saturday afternoon, do you know it? Not always,
What is Huntington?
so.
We charge leagues that use our fields. They give us their calendar, and then we'll put it in our calendar, and we go that way. But we do charge them to use it.
And so that may just be the.
So we have a
best option
contract.
to say.
The baseball association does pay.
Okay, but it's not an amount that we are charging them, it's just what they
They pay $300 a year.
pay $300 a year, okay,
That was set a long time ago.
okay,
Yeah, that's low.
okay.
Yeah, it sounds like, you know.
We'll look for that, so I wonder if that's something we need to.
I think if
establish
you're going to go that deep into it as council, you should do it at a special meeting.
Okay,
And,
Well, I-
and meet with, whether the park board's official yet or not, is meet with, because to belabor it here after a long meeting is not probably as efficient. So,
well, I think we need to know too what the other leagues have, so I don't know if that's something we can get that information ahead of time, just to reach out to,
I think that's a good idea.
the two, so we have that, and then we can bring that at our next.
Otherwise, you get here and then you're like, well, I don't know anything, you know. it's-
so are
Right.
you
we have
reaching
some-
out or am I mean, that's good, but who's doing the reaching?
I don't care, I would prefer it not have to be me at the
Oh, well, that's my
moment, but-
point, is who's doing
Yeah,
the reaching.
Are you interested in doing the reaching?
Does anyone else want to reach out?
We can
and
do the
ask?
reaching, but
Mm-hmm.
there's no point if you're
I
gonna
don't
do it.
know. I was contacted and asked to, so
I mean, I have a
looked
problem
into it,
talking
but-
to him if we can
Yeah.
set something up at all.
Yeah.
I mean, just not a special meeting and all that, just, hey, what are you guys looking at, what are you guys looking at, and then have a meeting about it.
Yeah,
See
and
if we can resolve it.
I think if we can get that information, I think we can easily resolve that
I
at our
agree
next
too,
meeting.
yeah,
So, yeah, if you don't
I
mind
don't
reaching
know
out
if I'll
to.
have it by the next meeting, as you know, I
Okay,
am
that's
not
true,
gonna
you're
always
gonna
be
be-
there. I will do the best I can.
Okay.
I'll put it out on listserv for one thing, I don't know, clerk
See
treasurers.
what clerk treasurer, see what they do too. But yeah, if we can, or if you wanna reach out, to people?
Again, I don't know who to reach to, so
I
somebody
can
have
get
to
you
tell 'em.
contact.
You have
I
contact?
can-
Oh, you already have
Okay.
them?
I'll
I
do
mean,
it.
you already got them.
I'm just gonna do you a favor. I am really busy. It's getting our busy time.
You need to know about small town parks, because you need to know how they're handling it.
Right.
Not a city park,
Mhm.
not a, whatever. but
Right.
A small town park.
There's just a chance I might have a better idea.
Well, that's what I mean, is we need to look,
Maybe
Towns
not.
our
There's
size.
always that chance.
because not a lot of towns our size have municipal.
So you know all three of these people that are involved and their numbers?
I guess I only know the two that are interested. The Jason and Lisa, who's out there now. Who's the third?
Was it,
Kevin?
Kevin, yes.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
give me the info.
Got you.
I'll make a
And
phone
if you
call.
don't mind getting that organized for us,
I'll make
and
a
then we
phone call. I'll
have.
get all over to you guys as soon as I have
So-
some information. I'll shoot you guys.
Let me
emails.
go back a little here, do you want the stop sign down? Because you sort of caught up guard with what Dustin and Tracy had worked out.
See, I was caught off guard because I drove out there and I'm like, there's already a sign here.
Yeah,
got-
it was a little.
I got a
It
little,
just said remove the sign at Winter Haven and Halliday. No sign is needed there. So the minutes of
So how does
the
that
session
affect-
meeting note the request, but have the streets wrong. So that was it. I don't know. I have to go out and look at it. I just know. I
Next
guess I didn't
time.
hit it.
Because I
Yeah.
could check with Tracy.
Okay.
Because he said of Van
Well,
Wilson
it was
on
just
holiday.
it was just
Have a good
discussed
day.
at the very end of the day. So
Yeah,
but yeah.